and welcome to the 17th installment of the Jonesin on a Whim podcast. That was sponged there with the song 17.
Which I hope I never hear again.
Most of that stuff is actually really good.
That's good.
That's a B-side that was on the Mallrats soundtrack. That's how I knew of it, and you knew to use it for this.
Not their best work.
17, it's a fun age. Hopefully it's a fun podcast.
Hopefully it's a fun age too, because some people haven't figured it out.
It's not a fun age for me anymore, but
that's when gravity hasn't even attempted to set in on these ladies.
Your
at
metabolism
17.
is like
not us.
That of a hummingbird.
The female.
Yes.
17. It's still perky and propped up. Not that I would go there.
Not even propped up.
All right, well, let's
veering off the cliff.
Yes, let's. It's already gone to shit. All right, so let's go into the 51-second segment. Actually, I do mistakes from a week ago, but down to one, and it really wasn't completely wrong. When I went to Oklahoma City and Moreland a while back, I remember them talking about Southwestern Oklahoma State as a school that's hard to get into. And I thought it was nurse specific. It's pharmacy specific. So it's one of those schools that only take a certain amount of people, less than 300 each year. Mm-hmm. So that was it. It wasn't nurse specific. It was pharmacy. So
different industry.
Yeah. Orange, apples, whatever. Apples and oranges, whatever.
Orange, tangerine.
Yes. So we'll keep those down. I think one is good.
Yeah.
What is good? Now the 51-second segment. Quick backstory, I call New Orleans the 51st state. It's unlike anywhere else. In my opinion, I'm biased being from there, obviously, but I think a lot of people share that sentiment. So 51-second segment, it's usually what we open the podcast with. If you're new, welcome, and that's what the story behind that. And this might take 51 seconds, just finally. They released the voting for the phoniest player in the Major League Baseball, and only weeks after Alex Rodriguez was named the most overrated position player in the game by Sports Illustrated, they pulled players for this as well. He also earned this title as the phoniest player in baseball, another undesired title. 232 players were surveyed. He received 26% of the vote. Easily outpacing his teammate, actually, Nick Swisher, who had 14%. And then third was Nair Morgan, who they don't give me a percentage for him. And then Brian Wilson, fourth. Brandon Phillips for the Reds, fifth. A-Rod received more than half his votes, 64% of them, from players in the American League. 44% of that was from his division, the AL East. So as a Red Sox fan, I'm sure Stefan agrees with this. But is this a jealousy thing? Is it legit? What do they really mean by phony? Is he overrated? Is he two-faced?
Well, being overrated and being phony are two different things, I think.
I totally agree.
As you said, A-Rod won the overrated one, too.
Right.
But, part of it is the rivalry. I mean, you mentioned that a lot of those votes came from within the division.
Right.
The Red Sox obviously don't like the Yankees, and I think that's healthy for the game.
Does anyone like the Yankees?
It's good to see that the game is not turned completely into a business. And that there's still some dickishness between players,
Right? No, yeah.
And
they're not like in the NBA. Everybody's hugging everybody.
Yeah. A-Rod has had this, this kind of reputation for a while. I mean, even Yankee fans hate him.
Right. Exactly. No, I think they hate him the most.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to see that vote. And, I don't think it's so much jealousy anymore because his performance has actually declined pretty steadily over the past several years.
But it was a high peak though. Too,
yeah.
In his defense,
and sometimes players and fans dislike good-looking athletes.
Right.
Like Elway got a lot of this at one point.
Yeah, I think he was the Bronco mascot.
Yeah, right. But so it could be a little jealousy in there, but yeah. He's a phony bastard.
Right, there we go. We're just going to go with that. More news from the Northeast. This is entertainment news, which it's not exactly entertainment. It's just what's entertaining to us and namely me, I guess, hopefully everyone else, and hopefully the two of you. 3 bored Delaware daycare workers found a really inadvisable way to spice up their jobs. They started their own toddler fight club in which they made the toddlers do battle with each other and then, not so intelligently, captured the whole thing on tape. Who's filming this? Why are you filming this? I guess you just do it again. Don't film it. Police have video from the incident, which occurred in March of this year, and have since charged a trio of workers from the aptly named Hands of Our Future Daycare. Boxing hands? And they were charged with a variety of crimes, including endangering the welfare of a child. With several children. The women, Tiana Harris, 19. Don't you need some kind of license to work? 19. Lisa Parker, 47. Estefania Myers, 21.
Estefania.
They're allegedly, Beavis and Butthead, are allegedly seen on the video encouraging a group of 3 years old, to fight, pushing them back into the fray when they tried to escape and telling the kids, no pinching, only punching.
Okay, right. So these are not like pillow fights.
No. They were wailing on each other. They said that people who viewed the video, punching, slapping, throwing each other into tables. Is it wrestling or tables?
Give them like folding chairs to whack each other with.
Shockingly, Hands of Our Future Daycare has since had its license revoked.
I don't believe it.
But
I don't think that's reasonable.
no, not at all. Where's your proof? Oh, the video that they made.
Oh yeah.
But Dover Police Captain Tim Stump told FoxNews.com that the video was difficult to watch. But difficult, does he really mean awesome?
Yeah.
If this was throwing tables?
The question we're all asking is this on YouTube somewhere? And can I watch it?
No, exactly. They won't release the video.
Oh,
but it happened in March. But this is an interesting part. It only came to the attention of a police officer this weekend during the course of an unrelated investigation. So did he put the wrong tape in and then stumble upon this video of 3-year-olds punching, throwing tables?
So there was something else that the daycare center was being investigated
maybe
for,
so.
like embezzling or crack dealing, or I'm guessing this was not the only thing that these 3 were into.
No, Tiana and Stefania also work at Taco Cabana. So.
Yes.
Too easy and not funny.
So marijuana was involved.
Is it not funny? Okay.
It's funny because it's real.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And more entertainment.
They're just toughening up those kids. They're going to be bad.
3?
Yeah.
Good lord. I guess knee scrapes don't bother those kids. So that takes care of the toddler debauchery. Now on to high school debauchery.
All right.
The annual
Closer to legal.
17.
Hey,
The annual cheerleader sleepover at Lovejoy High School.
Wow.
I'm already excited. This movement in Clayton County, Georgia, back in July, was supposed to be a team bonding experience.
Hey.
Instead, the girls were forced to either run laps or take off a piece of clothing if they answered a question wrong, as part of a game called Judge and Jury. And the questions were apparently stuff we used in Stump Stefan, so they weren't gonna. They weren't gonna get them right.
Get that shit
They were really, really hard. That's what we are now.
Questions.
As if
the questions were.
right. As if that weren't bad enough. Again, bad I think means awesome. The jury was made up of older cheerleaders, and the judge was the cheerleading coach, who has now resigned. Really? As a result of an investigation into what might be considered a hazing incident. So maybe this was the incident that the Dover police were I don't know.
Well, making them run laps, that's nothing wrong with that. But.
Right. And they did a bunch of off-camera interviews, whatever that. But it still makes a story. So how off-camera? The woman's daughter said about a dozen girls were crowded in a closet, stripped down to their underwear. I'm already visioning this. Her daughter said at one point she got a question wrong and was told to expose herself. Although the parents signed permission slips for the kids to attend, they obviously didn't include this.
Actually, it is okay for my daughter to disrobe in front of her coach.
And after all this, honestly, if the former cheerleader coach is a woman, is this really that bad? I don't. If they're all women,
probably so. Cause
still bad.
We're still talking.
Maybe my morality is
it's
not as good as I thought.
It's still sexual. Yeah.
It is, especially if you're getting down to exposing herself, which I can only assume that means bra and panties are the next step.
Yeah, just because they've seen each other in the locker room doesn't mean you can request it on a.
Again, it makes for
on a whim.
hell of a visionary.
Yes.
Assuming these the high school kids in Clayton County, Georgia, which Georgia always brings the sweeties. So. And I think you have to have a certain amount of attractiveness to get into Lovejoy High School.
And to get on the
you would think.
squad.
Yeah.
And
This is not the black girls we're talking
No,
about.
exactly. So
Oh.
we need to look at some pictures. So again, entertaining to us, maybe not to you. You might be disgusted, but
Insulting the flag girls. You try to sneak that in there.
Is that a siren?
Right. That's another unrelated investigation. Police listen to Jonesin on the Whim podcasts and show up at the North Estate.
Determined that they were pedophiles.
Submerge the computer! Submerge the computer!
So,
Ridiculous.
on to more debauchery. Twitter segment for this week, and I guess some maybe elderly debauchery here. Is the Sheik that old? I don't know.
He's getting up there.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah.
We provided the young to middle age debauchery just now by commenting on high school. Not only seniors, juniors, but sophomores maybe. We don't know when you can be on this team, but the Sheik's at it again. Chris Christie, Cookie Crumb Dick.
Chris Christie, Cookie Crumb Dick.
Cookie Crumb, a new one. Cookie, that's a small. That might be the smallest yet.
That's
Like split the atom dick. I mean, that's and that's of course Chris Christie's the New Jersey governor. This one simply just says the turf look like the real. Does it mean it look like real grass, or is it the real like he's the real?
It may be
Yeah.
real grass. It may be
Try
real
to translate that one.
Right. But he always watching his. I think he watches more television than I do, which is a tall task. America Got Talent need to have talented people that can eat shish kebab. Is that still a penis? I don't know if it's still. I can't figure out if it's actual shish kebab or it's just cock.
Well, he likes shish kebab, so
He does.
I don't think that's a sexual reference.
Yeah.
Because he's not above.
No, and in prior tweets, it sounded like cock. Then he starts giving out MTV Video Music Awards, which apparently he's also watching. The Mel Gibson won the 2012 MTV Video Music Awards, plural, just for Deserve to Die, most in the world. I think Entertainment Weekly gave him that too. They listed him as the favorite.
What does that trophy look like?
I don't know. It's is it just a coffin or
It's just a little mini coffin on top of a pedestal.
yeah. Not even in the ground.
Right.
And of course, the Jose Canseco is going to get a Video Music Awards, plural, not just one. In the way he words it, the Jose Canseco won the 2012 MTV Video Music Awards for being biggest Mexican piece of garbage. Another no-brainer, but I see a couple around here that could contest. Okay, we'll move on. Hulk Hogan won the 2012 MTV Video Music Awards for biggest piece of shit. He is a pretty tall fella. I mean, and if he is a smelly pile of shit, that's a big piece. So that one might make the most sense, other than maybe because I don't even think Canseco's Mexican. I don't know. I guess he's got to be.
No, he's Puerto
Exactly.
Rican.
No, that's worse. Wow. I don't know. I'm not ranking. This one he gets. I'll need some clarification here. F the Rugrats in Paris if they F with me. The Nickelodeon cartoon Rugrats?
Cartoon, or
Is he attacking cartoons?
or just children in general? Or
In Paris, I get the Paris part.
is he starting his own toddler fight club in Europe?
Oh Lord! Hopefully, in Paris would be a bunch of white flags. There'd be no fighting.
Right, no fighting.
The tallest task would be to get these kids to fight.
Teaching him how to surrender.
Right.
Early.
And this is a fun one. Wrestling should be like this. Next WrestleMania, I fight the Sofia Vergara in Old Country Way match. So he's gonna put it in anal. He's gonna.
Yeah.
And I actually wouldn't mind looking at her. I do missionary as we went over last week, and even was it Chinese missionary or Japanese kneeling missionary? Was it?
I tried to wipe that one for my memory.
It's coming back.
And the Virgil gets a reference, of course. The Virgil chocolate dog shit. Chocolate, like sweet. The color of shit's pretty much a given. Yeah. So, and hashtag ghetto ice cream flavors. Art? No, okay.
Uncalled for.
This is one you might be able to answer. Not because you're brown. But
It's too late. Go.
the Salt Lake City or the Salt Lake Shitty? Tell me. I'll go F yourself. You spent a Super Bowl there, didn't you?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it
The
did.
Super Bowl was in Salt Lake City.
No, he was just at the airport or
Oh,
the hotel
Okay. Oh, I see.
watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
It was cold, of course. They won't serve you alcohol unless you have food on the table to start.
Yeah. We've gone through that somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're like women like looking at you and then covering their purse or something like that.
because you had to be the only brown fella in
No, I think at this point,
45-mile
I'm getting
radius.
old enough now to where you got to be kind of out of it to just see me and think, oh, I'm going to do something.
Right. Well, the shirt says, Panty Raid Task Force or whatever, but you probably have that.
I wouldn't have worn that. Yeah, I wouldn't have worn that.
Drink beer or go help yourself. The Sheik, I think, has that has that shirt on his website. But speaking of effing yourself, don't go to the doctor. At Wild Facts of Life tweeted, over 7,000 deaths each year are caused by the sloppy handwriting skills of doctors.
Oh.
And the wife wonders why I don't do hospitals. I'd rather roll the dice than have a sponge inserted in there.
I wonder how they came up with that number. That's
Over 7,000. And they usually check out on this Twitter.
yeah?
That's a lot, but doctors notoriously known for bad handwriting. And a couple more from What Bitches Love. It's always good stuff. I told that bitch to get a job at the auto body shop. Bitches love fabricating shit. Very true. I told that bitch you're like a Batman villain. Bitches love being two-faced. So that Batman villain.
Uh-huh.
And Nick Swartzen, I love him. He's always got some funny stuff. Is it gay? He says, but I think it's if. If one guy goes down on 5 guys, but he means the burger place. And this is another one that's pretty funny. Chick-fil-A sounds like an ad for girls who like to bang dudes with a strap on. I guess it's like fellatio, maybe Chick-fil-A-cio. Hashtag just saying. Is that? I don't know. Bang dudes with strap on.
Not an expert in strap on.
No, I don't.
Lingo.
I don't think there's one in the house. What is there? What? No.
No.
And then lastly, Krista Ely's always got some good ones, and then we'll go to you for maybe some recent Chic tweets.
Yes.
It is literally less embarrassing to shit your pants and cry at the same time while on a date than it is to wear a visor. Not a fan of the visor. I like it because visor usually spells douche. I think a lot of people think
I saw a lot of visors in Vegas.
it's a half a hat. I mean, it's a half a hat. Come on, and you pay like the same price for a full hat.
You're
Give me all the half back.
Yeah, per square inch of fabric. You're
Right.
getting ripped off.
Give me my my yarmulke. Part of the hat.
Yeah, Sheik had a few others recently.
Any more cookie crumble
As I
dick.
said, I was out in Vegas this weekend, so I wasn't real sober to go through this stuff. But we had one Kentucky the Real or the Ken Fucky in the Head.
Because Louisville stomped them, I think, in college football.
Who best to be in next Dumb and Dumber movie? Ultimate Warrior, Dead Grandmother, and who? So he's already got one slot filled.
That's not the first the Ultimate Warrior's grandmother. May she rest in peace, Bubba. I mean, he keeps. Oh,
Actually,
Lord.
he was on a roll. These 3 were actually consecutive tweets.
Wow.
Only black person not to be invited to Medea family reunion is the O.J. Simpson and the Mel Gibson for the barbecue. So I don't know.
So the only black person, he mentions 2 people. And Mel Gibson's clearly whiter than me.
Yeah, he was on during that sequence there. That's all I got.
The Ultimate Warrior grandmother and who? She's already been casted. She's already in the Dumb and Dumber movie. Awesome. So now that brings us to Stump Stefan, and we're combining with the Whim hits again this week.
Of course.
And this was actually an idea from the wife. I liked it. I think I talked to you about it.
Oh yes.
She and you were on board. We're gonna, since I'm from New Orleans and in Louisiana, we don't exactly spell shit the way it should be or the way it looks. So we're gonna do some
Frenchified.
right, some Cajun words and see do a little spelling bee for you.
All right.
We'll start with Fay Do Do. It's defined as a Cajun dance party after the children have gone to sleep. So that, after the toddlers fight and then they're tired. They go to bed.
Okay.
Fay Do Do.
Well, man, that's a tough one. I'll go with F.
F and right.
And I'm done. No, F-A-Y-E-D-O-D-O.
Okay, D-O-D-O is right.
Okay.
Try the first one again. F-A was correct.
F-A E
another vowel.
A different vowel?
Than E, correct.
Oh, okay. F-A...
So you have no prior experience with seeing any of these words?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. No,
I can-
F-A-I-T?
I-S.
I-S. F-A-D-O-D-O. Okay.
If it was the T, it would be like F-A-I-U-T maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
This one's a little easier. Flambeau. And that's the torches that carried during
Flambeau.
parades.
I think I have seen that word before.
They throw like coins at him and it catches it. And
Okay. Is it, if it's Cajun, then I'll go with F-L-A-M-B-E-A-U-X.
That is correct. That is correct.
All right, I'm not going to get shut
Nice. Gree-gree. And that's voodoo. It's a voodoo good luck charm. Get the gree-gree on you. Put a gree-gree on you. 2 words. Well, spelled the same way,
spelled
but
the same way?
twice.
Okay, good,
So
thanks.
just spell
Yeah.
gree.
Gree.
And it's, yeah.
Man. Gree.
Kind of use what you learned from Faye. Maybe,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay, maybe is it G-R-I-S?
That is correct.
All right.
Good. That a way to
Thanks
learn
for
from your
there.
mistakes.
Yes,
there you
yes.
go. And lanyap, you've seen that.
Lanyap?
Little something extra. Yeah.
I probably have, but I don't remember how to
It's
spell
it's the Friday insert of the Picayune, which we can also have you spell, but we won't.
it. Lanyap.
It's a Friday insert of it's like an entertainment magazine, but it's also a little something extra. But we name this insert every Friday. It's a music, stuff, music for the weekend goings on. We call it lanyap because it's an insert. It's a little something extra.
Lanyap. I know it sounds like it's spelled, but that's clearly not. How
Then I'll help you out here.
All right.
People, if they read it, they'll say lagnap.
They'll say lagnap.
If they're reading it, because that's how they see it. If they've never seen the word. So your first 3 letters are
L-A-G.
correct.
Lagnap. N-A-P-P-E.
Niappe. Very close.
Okay.
And a famous street. One of the trickiest things to spell. People that know where I'm going with this.
Not Chapatulas.
Chapatulas.
Oh, crap. T.
It's correct.
C-H.
Yes.
O-P.
Yeah. O-U-P.
O-U-P. Okay. T-C-H-O-U-P. I-T-O-U-L-A-S.
That is correct. And I assume you know how to spell street. So.
R-D.
Yes. Period.
B-L-V-D.
And this is one it's informational. It's vocary, and that's French for old quarter, which we reference the French Quarter.
Vocary?
Yeah.
Could you use it in a sentence?
Yes. It's French for old quarter. Vocary is French for old quarter.
Vocary.
And I think it's said carré, but for spelling it's easier to
Vocary.
carré or view carré. Some people might say, but I think it's vu.
Is it? So that's one word, right?
It's 2.
Oh, it's 2.
Yeah, old is vu, I guess. Carré.
You is vu, I think.
What is?
Well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Sorry.
Is it V-O-U-S?
V-I-E-U-X.
Vu. Oh, okay.
Vu and then carré.
Okay. Kari. Oh, shit.
No, that is not.
Vu Kari. I really don't know. C-A-R-I-E.
R-R-E. 2 R's and an E.
Okay.
But it's
Gotcha.
percent on the E.
Yeah, I think you're right. Vu is old.
Yeah. No, that's what it's French for old quarter. So vu carré. As long as carré is quarter, then that would make, by process of elimination, vu would be old.
Yes.
So, all right, a couple more.
Uh-oh.
Something you could maybe take from. No, this one's all new. Sac ole. 3 words.
Sac ole.
Ole. It's translated as a sack of milk. Sack of milk.
Ole.
Lay must be milk.
Okay, so the lay part is...
You're basically spelling French, I guess.
Yeah, L-A-I-T is the lay part.
That is correct.
Sac ole. Let's see. How about S-A-K-E? A-U?
No, that's delicious Japanese.
That's sake.
Right.
Is the O part A-U?
It is.
It is. Okay, so the first one.
Right, that's all you need. Sock.
Sock.
It's as it sounds.
S-A-K?
S-O-K.
S-O-K.
Sock.
Sock.
No K. That's O-C. Sorry, that's O-C.
Okay.
And then one more.
Pink sock old lady.
Suck mine.
For those of you who listen to that one.
Right. Doo-wop gold. No, that was the sex act. All right.
Then pee on her. And have some Olay.
No.
Buku krasu to end. 2 words. Buku krasu, and it's translated as very dirty, which is what his podcast could be headed.
Oh, okay. I know how to spell Boku.
Boku, like buku, yeah. Very.
B-E-A-U-C-O-U-P.
Right, buku, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what was the second word again?
Krasu. That must be dirty. Must mean dirty.
C-R...
Correct.
A-S-S-O-U-X?
E-U-X.
Oh!
Shit. No! And that's enough.
Damn it!
That's enough
Stupid
humiliating. I don't even know if I can get those, to be honest. So, you did well, I think.
Thanks.
And we'll state of the art, bring Art back in here. I have to do a little background here, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to start the state of the art with a quick synopsis of a review of the book, The New Plantation, Black Athletes, College Sports, and Predominantly White NCAA Institutions by Billy Hawkins. So, this will be a quick run-through. This is a review of the book. Sports has been described as a microcosm of the larger society. It has also been depicted as a barometer for racial progress. Okay. How ironic this is today when we have many predominantly white universities known nationally and internationally because of black athletic excellence. Remember this, me reading a review. This is not my opinion.
No.
Today, perhaps more than ever, experts and special interest groups are demanding reform in the administration and regulation of intercollegiate athletics. So they're wanting to change some things, look back, what are we doing, how can we fix whatever they think is not running the way it should, I guess. With recruiting violations and misconduct by players and coaches leading the headlines of sports pages and sports talk shows throughout the country, there is no wonder why these demands are being made. In The New Plantation, Professor Billy Hawkins presents a critical analysis that examines the relationship between D1 intercollegiate athletes programs at predominantly white institutions and black male athletes. More specifically, the book seeks to position black male athletic experiences within the broader historical and social context of exploitation endured by internally colonized people in the system of slavery. So comparing them to slaves, so saying the university is plantation, the athletes are the slaves. Hawkins also provides reform recommendations on how to decolonize black athletes at predominantly white NCAA institutions. He is credible. He was a black athlete himself, and he did also, obviously, as a writer, he received his master's degree. And I believe, I don't know if they say where he went to school. They just say it was a small southern town. He gives an economic analogy of the plantation system and intercollegiate athletics. After providing an overview of the economics behind the American slavery system, so he gives background of slavery from the 1790s to 1860s, he transitions into an exploration of the new plantation model in intercollegiate athletics. So he does not overlook the benefits that black athletes can receive from participating in intercollegiate athletics if they are able to navigate the system effectively. These benefits include having the opportunity to receive a college education, obviously, and a degree that will lead to future employment, networking for future opportunities with individuals that black athletes meet through their participation in sports, and third, social mobility through similar networking, and finally fourth, social mobility through being drafted by a professional sports team. So I'm not sure where, I didn't even know the book existed.
Yeah.
I assume none of us have read it.
No.
And so we really don't have a real way to reflect on it, but it seems a little left field for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could create some degree of parallel, but it's not. You're reaching if you're trying to sell that as a direct
correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some things that are similar, but it's you're still talking about an opportunity to accomplish a lot.
Which is the same opportunity any white athlete would get.
Exactly. So I think if you want to focus on the exploitation standpoint, I don't think that's a color-coded thing.
Right.
I think that's just a thing. There's people who don't necessarily care about the kids that are bringing those kids in, giving them whatever money that they give them to go to the university, basically assuming that they're not going to do the most they can do as far as with the educational standpoint.
Right.
Of being at the university, but chances are hoping that based on their athletic ability that they'll be able to do good for the university from a financial standpoint, and then whatever happens to those kids happens to them after they graduate. But really, they do the same thing with all kids who go to college. It's just more money involved when you start talking about athletics.
And I think his basis is the more successful are the black athletes. So maybe they're contributing a lot more. So, but you still can't single them out. That's what we're trying to get away from.
Yeah,
is that singling out. So
yeah, maybe there's just statistical reasons to try to single it out and just say, hey, there's more black kids playing ball somewhere. But I still don't know if he has a leg to stand on without really reading into that. I mean, obviously when you gave me the rundown, and I guess just to do a behind-the-scenes peek, we do prepare for this on a week-to-week basis. We know what the topics are going to be sometimes, and we have an idea. And of course, I had jokes as soon as I saw state-of-the-art space, new plantation. I was like, oh hell no! What happened?
That segment is the new plantation.
Like I've been busy.
We're using them.
I've been busy, but damn, what happened?
Right, we're cracking the whips.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, that is a funny.
So it is an attention-grabbing title.
Right,
I think
that was my
goal.
point.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Yeah.
I think the goal.
Right.
I think that's what the goal of the book is too. It's got to be just, hey, I'm trying to get your attention to tell you what I'm trying to tell you about this situation.
And he does offer credibility, like they said in the review. He did play college basketball.
Yeah.
In a small southern town.
Yeah.
So they were probably the whole team was. The starters were probably just like most southern schools these days. It's all black athletes on the team, really. Mm-hmm. So it was an interesting. I don't even know how I fell upon that, but
yeah, I mean, I'd like to kind of see more about it, but I still feel like it just gets down to you're talking about how much responsibility are you going to put on a university as it pertains to any child.
Right.
And when you send them to school, you create. There's a lot. Even as an adult, university aside, you wake up every morning, you have an opportunity to do a lot of things in this world. And there's a lot of information available to you. And a lot of people spend that time figuring out who they're going to start on their fantasy team. They figure out how they're going to go do some CrossFit, or they try to get nearby as much nudity as they can until they get married.
Well, that's a recruiting process.
Yes, and that's a recruiting process. Yeah. But there's also a lot of information out there for you if you want to do other things with your time. And if you don't make a decision to do that, where does the responsibility fall? And I feel like it's the same thing with an athlete in college. Yeah, you get a lot of exposure, you get a lot of travel, you get a chance to be in a lot of places that some other kids may not. And yeah, you can spend it trying to get to the strip club, and you can spend it trying to get your Sam Hurd on and find some drugs to sell, or you could. That's insane. But this is what these kids are doing. Right. But you know, these are the things you could do, or you could try to really get something from it, because there's going to be a lot of. There's snakes everywhere, but there's also some good people around dying to help you if you would just listen to them. And they're screaming at you like, don't let these people screw you. Look at the good things about the situation that you're in, and make the best of it. And when you get done and when your knees are bad, or when you're old, or you just get to a point where you can't play anymore on the next level, then you'll be able to do something else with your life. And I don't... Just because these universities don't go out of their way to say, hey, don't screw up your life, you need to go do this other stuff. Well, they put you in a situation where you could have made a good decision. And if you didn't, you didn't. Mm-hmm. And it ain't the school's fault because you decided to chase strippers. Right. Instead of get your stuff together. So now everybody realizes you're short and you're kind of fat and you can't play no more. Or you've got bad knees, now you can't go on to the next level and do the same thing. which is basically try to athlete your way through your whole life, well, that ain't on the university. That's on you,
Right.
Because it's your life.
And speaking of two of those guys, exactly, both released this in the last week or week and change. Vince Young and Terrell Owens in our final segment, both released. One by the Bills, which they were both been released by at some point.
Yeah.
And then T.O. in Seattle. Is this it for them? And these are two guys who obviously, in my opinion, well, T.O.'s older, but I think Vince Young needs the NFL. I mean,
Yeah, I think he does.
so is this it for both of them?
I guess to save a correction, I think T.O. just played out his contract and they didn't re-sign him?
It wasn't a 1 year deal,
With
was
the Bills?
Yeah.
Was it a 1 year deal?
Okay.
I thought it was a multi-year deal.
I don't know.
I want to say.
I think he played out his contract in Cincinnati, and they didn't re-sign him. The
Huh.
Bills was a multi-year deal, and they released him.
I wonder what they released him for though, because the storyline wasn't that he wasn't acting a fool
No.
right there, and his stat line wasn't amazing.
I think that's when Gailey arrived and said, "I don't need this on my team."
Yeah, because I mean it was him, Steve Johnson, and Lee Evans at that time. So
Yeah.
obviously that wasn't necessarily the most.
I think he played
potent-
out his Cincy deal. It's been 1 year deal since that Buffalo multi-year deal.
Well, I don't usually do tangents, but
Right. But,
this
yeah.
is T.O.'s done because he's
T.O.'s
old.
done,
He's
right.
old. He's viewed as a problem child.
We could lump Ocho Cinco into this too.
And
Oh, yeah.
Chad, with the whole situation with his wife, he's gonna have to curl up in a corner till that's cleared. And then there's this whole problem with him called I can't play anymore. So, but hey, that said, Braylon Edwards is on a team and he's about to start, and I thought he was done too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think T.O.'s done. The age, and I'm not saying he won't ever get a look, by another team, but wide receivers deep enough across the league that
Well, and he only
just
got
kind of-
this one look. It's
Yeah,
not like
he's kind of a curiosity. I
Right.
think is where Seattle was approaching it from.
I think he's done. I think the more interesting question is the Vince Young.
So yeah, I mean, teams that there are enough crappy quarterbacks starting out there that I could see Vince Young sneaking back onto a roster at some point because he did have a good record when he played, but he's demonstrated that he can be a problem child.
But to not be the backup in Buffalo,
yeah, that's
Tyler Thigpen beat you out,
It's not a good sign.
no, he'll get looks, I guess.
I don't even think he'll get looks because the way I understand the backup quarterback role to work in the NFL is you do a lot of scout team work and you also do a lot of during practice weeks you have to be able to, we talked about this before, you have to be able to emulate other teams' quarterbacks as you help the team prepare.
That little girly release.
Yeah.
Let's imagine, let's think for a minute, everybody, all 5 of you or 6 of you, let's imagine Vince Young trying to replicate
Peyton Manning.
And changing all
Screw that. Find Fitzpatrick. I mean, even that,
I mean, this guy, he's
mean-
made a conscious decision that he's not going to be a student of the game and he's not going to even fake it. Like when somebody walk in the room, he pick up the playbook and like, hey, I just held on page 12 of this playbook, y'all. This is some riveting plays. No, he doesn't even do that. So he doesn't even try. So he's just trying to athlete his way through his life. And as a quarterback, you can't get away with that unless you're doing a hell of a lot of winning.
Right.
And he hadn't done that much winning.
In a while, yeah.
And
Not
by the
lately.
way, he just pretty much Tennessee got blown up around him.
Yeah, if you can't get along with Jeff Fisher,
Yeah.
The
that's a
ultimate
red
player
flag.
coach.
Yeah, that's a big red flag. And I mean, I've met the guy.
I'm sorry.
He's just not very smart.
He's
You
not.
know, he was nice enough. Seemed like a decent fellow.
Right.
But especially today in the NFL, you have to have that mental ability, and we're seeing it more in the quarterbacks who get drafted.
Right.
Is these are not dumb stumps here.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now you can't athlete your way through it because this just in. I mean, Andrew Luck is a hell of an athlete, and it's kind of getting lost because you got RG3 running around looking all squirrely. But you start looking at some 40 times on Andrew Luck, and you're like, damn, that's
No, he
Drew-
can play.
Drew Brees was
he can run. Yeah.
just a hell of an athlete.
Like
Obviously,
these
Aaron
dudes-
Rodgers. I mean, these guys.
like these dudes are athletic guys.
Right.
Like they're all not, no disrespect, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady.
Yeah, he was the worst athlete that ever played a position.
No, I mean, Brady's a dying breed.
Yeah.
That he doesn't have the mobility.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we agree. He'll emerge somewhere. I think.
But I just don't. I don't know if he can. Stay
I don't know. Right.
Because he doesn't do.
If Andy Reid can't make you look presentable, then you got problems.
Yeah, and you saw that happen. I mean,
Right.
he looked back.
Yeah. He had a 40-yard game against New England, but he also threw like 4 picks in that game.
And he
so,
he threw some pick six, and then not to mention he almost he doesn't even really
ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he doesn't even look to be what you would call in shape.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So that we'll end it there. That concludes the 17th installment of the Jonesin on the Whim podcast. Next week we'll have a new format.
Yeah.
It'll be NFL heavy. We'll still try to do some Twitter stuff, but we're still gonna have the state of the art. We're still gonna have the Stump Stefan, the Whim hits, the top 11, entertainment news, 51-second segment, all that stuff. It's just gonna be presented a little bit differently. So we hope you stick around and see how we lay that out. And thanks to the 6 of you. Hopefully, Art got optimistic and said 6. I usually roll with 4, but I think it's growing. I hope it's growing. The theme song has been written. We just need to get it recorded, and we'll be in a real studio shortly. So appreciate the listen. We'll let Sponge sing us out.
I got one more thing, and then I'll stop for real. I promise. It's about to be week 1 NFL. This is a serious time of the year, man. I feel like sometimes everybody's life kind of becomes what it is, and football is the excuse, man. I mean, you can get some people together for some football. And whether it's a fantasy football draft, it's a Wednesday night, Thursday night game, it's Sunday, whatever you got some friends that you don't see till football season. You got some friends you never see more than you see during football season, and you're about to go into that period of time. Hug your wife, tell her you'll be back, get ready to kick it with your friends.
Hopefully she's there when you get back.
Yeah, just enjoy it, live it up, have a good time, man. It's gonna be a good time of year.
And because of those exact reasons, these won't be posted on Monday or Tuesday, and likely be Wednesday. So that's a good point to bring up. So that's it. That's our advice. You forewarned, you better have. And of course, take the time to listen to the Jonesin podcast.
Yeah,
That too.
Make that priority number 1, because we will get you ready each week for these games. Obviously, we're not going to preview this opening week, but from here on out, we will be previewing and making picks on each game of every week.
I scored a ticket to the Texans opener
Hey.
next weekend.
So I scored one for the Saints. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what do you know?
Good for you. Hey, ESPN New York says Tebow could impact on 4th down. I guess the Jets will have a lot of opportunities then to make that happen.
Honestly,
What we're going for.
honestly considered my bold prediction being Tebow was the leading rusher on the Jets, but I don't think that's very bold.
Right.
That's almost getting projected.
Right.
Jeez. That's a lot of attention for a team that's about to be pretty damn bad.
I give 9.